as we all know, the CPA exam dramatically changed on January 1st, 2024. It became significantly more challenging, or it really just kind of changed itself up. And, you know, when we kind of look at the importance of CPA exam preparation, you do want to invest in a CPA review course. I can tell you right now that the classes I teach my students, are they great for learning accounting? The answer is absolutely yes. However, when it comes to preparing for and taking a CPA exam, you absolutely use CPA course. Not to do that is just a mistake. And so Ninja is really from the perspective of you have not necessarily a course purchase model, but it's really a subscription. So if I want to try, or if I want to, if I'm a student and I want to use Ninja, I can basically just say, okay, I want to subscribe to Ninja. And what are your current rates each month?
Yeah, we changed it. So yeah, we have a subscription model. It's kind of like Netflix for the CPA exam.
Sure.
So you can start and stop whenever you want. And it's not like financing a course. So there's no commitment, just your first month. And so back in January of this year, we switched to a supplement model and a full course model.
Okay.
So with because people who only want to supplement, when you give them like 7 or 8 study tools, it's overwhelming. So with the supplement, we took our 3 most popular products, which is the MCQ, the audio, and the notes. So the supplement is $67 a month, then the full course is $87 a month, and you can, like I said, you can cancel at any time.
Okay, cool. And then I can also, if I want, I can get like basic, can sign up for a week trial and try out the course. Or
Yep.
Trial.
Yep. A free trial. Yep.
Cool. And I'll put that link below. So anybody out there who wants to trial, please feel free to go through and check this out. So in terms of for Ninja, you've been doing and working with CPU since about, I think you mentioned with 2008.
Yeah. 2008 is when I started another71.com. It was never intended to be a business. It was just a blog about failing the CPA exam. And
another 71.
Yeah. Another71.com. Yeah.
So actually, so let's first, what was your exam journey like? Like, what was so when you took the CPA exam, was it like under FAR, REG, audit, MBEC? Is that the way it's structured?
Yeah. Yeah. I started in 2005. Yeah. And my study plan consisted of work, come home, play Madden on PlayStation, go take the exam, fail, wonder why I failed, and then repeat. And that's what I did for about 2 years. And then my wife was like, let's either do it or don't. And so then I got my button gear and started studying. And then along the way, I developed what I call the Ninja framework. And it's just a different way. It's, in some ways, it's kind of polar opposite what the other courses teach you to do. And so the Ninja framework became Ninja CPA review, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Wait, so what was when you were getting the 70? When you were getting the 70, obviously when I took it, like I'm old man Bennett, right? You had to take it in person. It was 19 and a half hours over 3 days. It was practice part 1 and 2, which were 4.5 hours each. Then theory was 3.5, audit and law, which were each 3.5 hours. And that was absolutely insane. But when I was going through, got didn't pass. I think you either got a 69 or a 75. If you were in like that middle twilight zone round, they were looking for a potential grades. So when you were going through though, and you were scoring like a 71 on another 71, like how many times did you get that 71 score?
I forget. It was several, but it's on. So I'm like the only, I guess, mainstream, if you want to call it that, mainstream review course person who lists their failing scores in their bio. It's probably not good for business. Yeah, it was several. And I scored back-to-back 74s on regulation, which caused me to lose my FAR credit. So I actually passed FAR twice.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I failed BEC, and then I did what any normal person would do. I failed with the 71. I did what any normal person would do, they would make a blog about failing BEC. And this is
Yeah.
pre-social media.
Right.
And so it was like the place to, I mean, I had some blog post that had like 3,000 comments on it. And so that's, yeah, back in the day, another 71 was the Reddit of CPA, of the CPA world. Yeah.
And so what helped you? So just what helped you go from one or what helped you get passing scores? And all? Like, what was it? What was what basically what was it that flipped for you that helped you get to that passing score?
Well, for one thing, I decided that I actually did want to be a CPA. And so maybe I should like do what that requires, which is sacrifice and study. And so I did that. And then, and then the Ninja framework is essentially, it's centered around taking notes, working multiple choice questions, and rewriting your notes. So it's a very note centered approach. That was very helpful. And
But
then,
when you talk about, there's been studies. My students think I'm trying carpal tunnels. I'm not going to get sued for it. But the way that I want my students to learn accounting is to take out basic pencil and paper, pen and paper, and like copy out questions multiple times. And is that kind of what you try to, or either like handwrite out the notes? Because I know there have been studies shown that if you are in fact taking pencil to paper, it's significantly more power than just like, I'm just going to take a tablet and write it out. Like, what are your thoughts on like that process?
yeah, exactly. So the Ninja framework, the N is nail the concepts. So I want people to watch all their videos or,
That's me. I wanted to just not like go for it. I wanted to leak out and go to the other screen and just
oh, okay. So people, the way that the other courses teach is watch video one, do question set one, watch video two, do question set two. And the problem with that is by the time that you get to like week 7 or week 8, you have forgotten what you did in week 1. And so then you have to do it all over again. And it's a very inefficient, and the pass rates show that it's a very ineffective way of studying. So, you know, the pass rate for any given section is about 50%. And I hate to say it, but you look at all the pass rate marketing in the review courses. Well, these people that are all passing at 50%, what course are they using? Because everyone else is advertising higher rates. Well, it's a pretty inefficient and ineffective way of studying. So what I did was I say, assume that you're going to study for 7, 8 weeks max. I never advocate for someone to study more than 8 weeks for an exam because you get diminishing returns. You get people who study for 3 months and they can't figure out why they scored a 65. It's because over time you forget. When you studying for the CPA exam is a different beast. You want to cram a bunch of info in your head and go in and barf it out on exam day. And, you know, you can be an expert in whatever field you work in later on. You can be an expert at governmental accounting if that's what you work in. But if you're not working in governmental accounting, you just got to cram it in your head and barf it out on exam day. And so what I advocate is nail the concepts. So take 2 weeks watching your videos, or if you're doing self-study, take 2 weeks reading the book. Then after 2 weeks, it's done. And take notes, take really good notes. But after 2 weeks, you're done. Then you move on to MCQ. So nail the concepts and then take intense notes, NI, while you're doing it. And then the N is nonstop MCQ. Then you take 2 weeks and do MCQ. And each multiple choice question has, some of them has four different learning opportunities. Why one is correct, why the others are incorrect. And so to your point about getting carpal tunnel, I advocate taking a legal pad, drawing a line down the middle, and making little bullet points. And I also like people to do topic specific multiple choice questions versus random. So like you can hit an area, you can hit like inventory. You can make a really cool set of notes over inventory. And as you go along and miss a question, or you might miss it later, whatever I call it the little fact nugget, whatever the little fact nugget is, write it down. And so you've nailed the concepts, intense notes, nonstop multiple choice questions. So you're really at week 4 now. And then NINJ is just rewrite your notes. So all of your nail the concepts notes, and all of your nonstop multiple choice questions notes, you have like pages and pages of legal pad writing. Then take those long form scribbles and put them into shorthand, like review notes. And like you said, there's something about connecting the material from your hand to your brain versus,
Absolutely.
you know, some courses advocate highlighting, and I tell people to throw their highlighters in the trash. Like I say, friends don't let friends highlight. And so take a week rewriting your notes. And that sounds like a long time, but I believe that that pays dividends on exam day. So then you're at like 6 weeks. Yeah, like 5 or 6 weeks. Actually, 2 weeks nail the concepts, 3 weeks MCQ, and then week 6 rewrite your notes, and then week 7 is the A. It all comes together in a final review. You're reviewing your notes, you're hitting your week MCQ from weakest to strongest, and then you're exam ready. And I think I lost track of your original question.